Good evening to those of you in church and also those of you who are joining us online. If you're watching online, you may like to get a small basket and 6 coins before we start. Yesterday, Jesus was greeted with shouts of encouragement and joy. However, soon, many people would change their attitude. Tonight, we will be considering how Jesus was betrayed. Because in church, we are restrained by COVID restrictions, we will need to use our imaginations for some of this evening's meditation. So to begin with, I would like you to imagine that you have a basket in front of you and various coins in your hand. From time to time, we will drop our coins into the basket. But before we do that, I invite you to read together with us the words of the hymn, Amazing Grace. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. The Lord hath promised good to me. His word my hope secures. He will my shield and portion be, as long as life endures. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. Michael will read from Matthew's Gospel.
The Gospel of Matthew, chapter 26, verses 27 to 50. While Jesus was speaking, Judas, one of the 12, arrived. With him was a large crowd with swords and clubs from the chief priests and the elders of the people. Now the betrayer had given them a sign, saying, "The one I will kiss is the man. Arrest him." At once he came up to Jesus and said, "Greetings, Rabbi," and kissed him. Jesus said to him, "Friend, do what you are here to do." Then they came and laid hands on Jesus and arrested him.
Did Jesus know who was going to betray him? Did he know when and how he would be betrayed? There may have been times in our lives when we have had suspicions that someone who had seemed to be our friend was in fact gossiping about us behind our back, or even worse, betraying us. So we will know something of the agony of Jesus' suffering through betrayal. We put the first imaginary coin into our basket, followed by a short silence. Jesus must have loved Judas and had known him as a special friend. So, as Jesus looks to the future, to the next few days, he must have been wondering why one of his friends would eventually do such a thing. For Jesus, as for us, the idea of such a betrayal must have been very painful. But such is the price of love. We put the second imaginary coin into our basket, followed by a short silence. The problem was that Judas was so immersed in his own vision for the future that his friendship with Jesus got in the way. It had to be sidelined, abandoned. I wonder when we may have tried to manipulate a situation to make it work for us, but to the detriment of others. We can be so convinced about our cause that we don't give a second thought to those we may hurt on the way. We put the third coin into our basket. So, how do we avoid these hurtful betrayals of others? How do we cope when we are betrayed? But firstly, how do we avoid these hurtful betrayals of others? In order to do this, we need to remember Jesus' words in the parable of the sheep and the goats. Whatever you did for the least of these, my brothers and sisters, you did it for me. So it follows that whatever we do to any of our brothers or sisters, we do to Jesus. We need to ask ourselves, would I treat Christ like this? We put the fourth coin into our basket. And if we do fall into the trap of self-righteousness, resulting in the hurt of others, then we need to look at Judas' example. Judas was sorry, and we need to say sorry, even if it is a humbling experience, and we may be rejected. We put the fifth coin into our basket. But how do we cope when we are betrayed? This time, we look to Jesus for the answer. Jesus was hurt. We don't help ourselves by pretending the hurt isn't there. Jesus wept over Jerusalem, and I am sure that he inwardly suffered when Judas gave him the kiss of betrayal. But Jesus also forgives. It is in his nature. It is all part of love. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. We put the sixth coin into our basket. It is becoming heavy with betrayal. So, tonight, while Jesus rests in Bethany, as he spends his last few days with his friends, we reflect with him on the pain of love and betrayal. But just as Jesus thanked God for those he had given him as friends, we can thank God for our friends, for those we know we can truly trust and who will always be there for us. We can also thank God for Jesus, our truest friend. Let us spend a few minutes now bringing to mind our friends, both past and present, who have blessed our lives.
Speed of light, no taking time to notice. We make our plans, our castles grand, but they're made of sand, and they go with the stolen tide. In waters calm, we're safe from harm. We don't stray too far from the shore, and walk the bay. The faces change, but our footprints stay till they go with the stolen tide. We hold on tight to the ones close by, but pay the price when they go. You feel the cold, you wanna know, where do they go? When they go with the stolen tide. Oh yeah, the stolen tide. The stolen
We take time to consider those times when we have betrayed others and acknowledge that we need to say sorry. It may have been something we said that let someone down. It may have been an action which caused hurt. To help us do this, to say sorry, we will slowly and in our own time take out those 6 imaginary coins one by one and offer them to God, who will accept them and cleanse us. As we come near to the end of this evening's meditation, again, because we can't sing here in church, I invite you to join us reading this song by Graham Kendrick together as we consider the love that Jesus has for us and the pain he takes for us. My Lord, what love is this that pays so dearly, that I, the guilty one, may go free? Amazing love, oh, what sacrifice, the Son of God given for me. My debt he pays, and my death he dies, that I might live. And so they watched him die, despised, rejected. But oh, the blood he shed flowed for me. Amazing love, oh, what sacrifice, the Son of God given for me. My debt he pays, and my death he dies, that I might live. And now this love of Christ shall flow like rivers. Come, wash your guilt away, live again. Amazing love, oh, what sacrifice, the Son of God given for me. My debt he pays, and my death he dies, that I might live. And now God's blessing on us. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up the light of his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen. Go in the peace of Christ. Amen.